G-Wagon Gonzales. Thoughts on this, Dave? Look, we both did a poll. You have a little bit different following than I do. I saw that you did that. I was like, this is awesome because you also gave 3 options. I only gave 2 options, hell yeah or no. You gave that medium option of like, I'm excited, but I'm reserved. I got 98% excited, which I was excited to see that Gator Nation for once in a long time seemed to be on the same page. You still had kind of your one-offs who just wanted to feel important, saying they hated the move. But for the most part, everybody was really excited for this. I think everybody had the same kind of opinion of, hey, we loved Billy when he was here, never really had any hard feelings about him. His lack of success, I guess you could say, during Mullen was here, we all point towards Mullen. But you did have a third option, which was, again, excited but reserved. Did that end up winning for you?
Yeah, excited but reserved, I think, got like 83% of the votes. I was trying to pull up the poll here, and I couldn't find it. The peed my pants excited was second place. I think it was around like 20%, and then like 10% had I barfed in Mullen. So okay. The majority is reserved but excited. But like, in my opinion, man, I can't say, like, I think it was more of just kind of weird and kind of out there. Like, I heard that Billy G was one of the guys that they were interested in, but it never was like really talked about or anything. I heard other names that were more talked about, and I know they interviewed a whole ton of coaches. But Billy G's name was out there, and I think the unexpectedness of Billy G kind of resonated a little bit with Florida fans, just based on the last staff and how they left the impression.
Sure.
But when it comes down to it, it's, well, he was with Dan Mullen. He's going to be with Billy Napier and this staff now. And Billy Napier isn't going to just say, okay, well, we don't want this guy. Okay, you're going to recruit this guy. We don't want this guy. We want him. He takes an evaluation process. So any recruit that any of the assistants want goes through him. So it's not like Billy G's walking into the same Dan Mullen staff that he left. I mean, Billy G, he has a good resume. I mean, he's put tons of wide receivers in the league. There was a lot of kids that, they even tweeted out about it. I mean, you have former players tweeting out about it. Best wide receiver coach in the country. I mean,
that was exciting to see.
He's going to be an instant impact on the recruiting trail. I mean, he's got a track record of development. He's just been praised by so many NFL players, and he's never been in the NFL. So he's a college guy. So he likes to be in college. He's not going to take a job to the NFL or go to the Broncos or whoever wants to take him. Like, he's a college guy. So at least you got somebody that has proven that they're going to stay at one school for a while. I mean, he stayed here 4 years with Dan Mullen. He stayed for a long time with Dan Mullen at Urban State. The stuff that he did at LSU. I mean, he's got a track record, and it doesn't look like he's going to quit anytime soon. So I like the Billy G hire with the current staff that we have instead of the last staff. If it would have been the last staff, I wouldn't even cared. And I know a lot of people were upset when Billy G was told to go, and he went to FAU. And then he comes back, and then some people didn't like it. And I was like, I thought you guys were upset when he left.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
So I mentioned yesterday in the live where I think what Billy brings is the new Billy G-Wagon is what we're calling him here, is right now Billy has a lot of guys around him that believe in Billy that he brought with him. They're brainwashed, not in a negative way, but they're bought into the Napier's way. They understand his system, which is great. You need to have that. But at some point, you need to bring in guys that will push back a little bit on your agenda and how you operate. Billy G-Wagon, in my opinion, provides that in a good way, in a good positive way. I did see a Miami fan. I can't remember his name. I wish I could call him out. It was like Big T.
Well, it's a Miami fan. So
Big T, Big 2Y. They put it in the Discord today. He kind of was going a little bit of a rant, trying to make fun of Billy Gonzales because Billy Gonzales has been a wide receiver coach for about a minute now. And now he has been a co-offensive coordinator, I believe, at Mississippi State. He was trying to rag on that a little bit. Again, I don't know too much of, hey, how many times did he try to move up, or has he interviewed for an offensive coordinator, hasn't gotten it? We don't see or hear these things. I will say this. I think his track record of a wide receiver coach has been proven to be extremely successful. His recruiting track record, his number one recruit being Percy Harvin, extremely successful. Those two things are true, okay? Now, here's the other part that people don't realize, is sometimes not everybody's meant to move on to the next level. They find their rhythm, and they're just really good at it. Being a head coach, it's not for everybody. That doesn't mean because, like, Jeff Scott, for example, who went to USF, the guy's a great coach. He just may not be, zone for a head coach. It's a whole nother animal. You're managing multiple personalities. You've got to keep your cool. It's a CEO style type of job. Not everybody's meant to be a CEO. Now, there is some really good managers, and that's probably what Billy Gonzales is, and he probably realized that. And some people have a hard time grasping that. That's the line that I'm going to go on. Again, you can look at that resume and be like, man, he kind of hopped around a little bit. He hasn't moved up. Why is that? I don't think we'll ever truly understand, to get the full breakdown. I'm sure there's stories and we could probably ask around. I haven't had enough time to figure all that out yet, but I don't look at it as a negative because of the success that he has had in the positions that he has had. To say his 1 year at FAU and then you kind of have an off year, right? You're transitioning out of one job into a next. You're almost kind of just filling a role really quickly. I mean, people are going to use that of like, oh, FAU, you suck there. It's like you couldn't even pick up a real job. You're coming off of Dan Mullen era where things weren't that great. That's part of it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and he's not going to do that much 1 year at any place. So especially at FAU.
Sure.
I mean, like no top recruits are going to look at FAU. Now, if you could pull a 4-star,
look at Lane Kiffin. I'm pretty sure Lane Kiffin coached at FAU for a little bit. Did he not? He went there during his little tangent of getting to where he is now. So sometimes you got to take steps to go back and forth to get forward again. That's just kind of how the coaching train works. So
yeah, I mean, I think he was at Illinois for 1 year too after he left LSU. So it's like, and then he went to Mississippi State. So
yeah, he was there for a while.
It's kind of like when you either leave a job or maybe a new head coach comes in and wants his own staff, right? You can go find you another job until you can find a better one,
sure.
And that's what a lot of people do in the real world. So
you got to find that middle ground, right?
Right.
So
this was kind of the situation for him.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do. I'm not too concerned about it, and I'm starting to realize Miami and FSU fans, they obviously don't have fans during this time of the year, so how they get clicks and views and whatnot, because Gator fans, we get rowdy, and we are their views, so they have to talk negatively about us to get us fired up. Real quick, shout out